Hi, my name is Konstantin Edelman, and welcome to Expression Tutorials. Today I'm going to teach you about displacement maps in Photoshop CS6. I believe displacement maps you could also use in other versions before CS6. So I have this image of V from V for Vendetta. I'm gonna put ones and zeros over his face, and so I'm gonna get an image of ones and zeros, that kind of digital stuff, and just put it over his face and show you at first how it looks. If you just multiply it, it'll look kind of flat, as you can see there. It's not the greatest thing you could do. I put a little bit of perspective there, but still it's very linear to the original ones and zeros. Now this is what your end product will look like, where the displacement map curves your image onto the new map. So we're going to make a map of the face and mimic that onto the ones and zeros. So what you're going to do first is get your ones and zeros, just an image I found online, resize it. This will work better if you have high quality images, but this is what I'm working with here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to distort it, or transform it, using the perspective is a good one to apply to a 3D surface. So his face is kind of looking downwards, so I'm going to squeeze that in a little bit, so it gets a little narrower towards his chin. Once you kind of find the right positioning, with this one I'm going to inverse it. That's Command I to inverse the layer, because I want black ones and zeros instead of a black background for them. And then you click multiply to see through it. That's under the blending modes. So now I just want to see the mask, and I'm going to go to my filters and turn it to black and white. You could play around with these adjustments a little bit. What you're looking for is good contrast and good values. So I'm gonna save this image as the map. Remember where you saved it. I'm just gonna put it on the desktop, so you can get rid of that. And now I open just the ones and zeros. I go under filter, distort, displace. Over here you could change the settings to what you want. The displacement map, it's gonna determine how far you're gonna displace the new image, and this takes some trial and error to get the desired effect that you want. So try it out a few times with different values and let it load. So it looks a little awkward, but when you apply your map back in, you'll see how it sort of started to go along with some of the bends and curves. What it's actually doing is just taking black and white gradients, and everywhere there's black, it'll distort that more than the whiter stuff. So for the final thing, you could just pop in a mask and get rid of stuff you don't want. So I'm going to go in the eyes a little bit too, just because I think it'll look a little better. There's always going to be some stuff that you're going to have to touch up a little bit, determining on how extreme of a displacement you chose for those pixels for the displacement map. But overall, it's a pretty nice image as far as 3D goes. It's definitely a lot less work than having to do that all manually, and definitely puts you one step further into getting the effect that you want. Probably, yeah. Here's another one that I did. This one's of Obama, and I did a desert floor. I did an image of a desert floor, and you could see right there where it displaced it on his face, like in the nose area and stuff. So yeah, and just layer it back in. There was my mask. I wanted the effect a little bit less on the forehead. So yeah, get some textures and play around with that cool effect, and yeah, have fun.